All right. Call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board to order. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. All right, so we have minutes for two meetings. We have November 29th, 23, and we have October 6th, 23. We have a motion to either one of those or both together.
Make a motion to move both, to approve both minutes.
Great. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right, manifest documents are going around. No nominations, resignations, Tom?
Yes, we had a few resignations recently. At the Bakey School, Alyssa Doucette, math interventionist, and Joanne Durfee, ELA interventionist, and at the middle school, a school nurse, Laura Frazier.
I might make a motion to accept with regrets.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. I'd like to give my time this evening to Mr. Rocher, who's going to give us an update on the strategic plan. But I did want to say happy holidays to everyone. And I wanted to say thank you to our staff for everything that they do. It's been a really great fall with the rollout of the CKLA program and working on our goals to write the curriculum and work collaboratively to improve instruction. And I just wanted to thank everyone for all their hard work and efforts and wish them a wonderful holiday break. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any subcommittee reports? Okay. All right. We'll move on. So student council representative report, Rebecca.
The ski club is in full swing and they're starting back on January 2nd because of the requested students. There are a lot of students this year and there's a lot more than they expected. So they're very excited about that. The National Honor Society made Thanksgiving cards and sent them to Exeter Hospital, Portsmouth Regional Hospital, and Boston Children's Hospital. The Student Council is also busy coordinating 12 Days of Caring campaign this month. Students have coordinated thank you gifts for much of the staff and helped a winter themed coloring contest, collected letters for local nursing home residents, designed a kindness bulletin board, hosted a Sanborn Pride Day and penny war competitions with the proceeds donated to the school's giving tree. And there is many more in the days coming leading up to the break. 18 fall athletes were recognized as All-State. This includes senior Ben Cardosa, who was recognized as the football D2 East Player of the Year, junior Jake Petrie, who was an All-State in cross country, and senior Caitlin Boston, who received a D2 honorable mention for girls soccer.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
All right, first public comment. Oops. So we have two donations tonight. Sanborn Regional High School girls basketball and Costco Logistics backpacks. Matt, looks like you're up for both of them.
Well, Dr. Dawson got a donation for the girls basketball program. There were reversible practice jerseys and the cost of the items is $504. From the Sanborn Community Basketball.
Great.
That's awesome.
Recommended the school board.
I did want to say thank you on Dr. Dawson's behalf. He couldn't be here this evening and he asked me to express his gratitude.
Yeah, this is wonderful. All right, do I have a to accept this donation?
I would like to make a motion to accept this donation with
Yeah.
exceptional gratitude.
Exceptional second.
Yeah, exceptional or accept.
All right, so we have a second from Rick. Any discussion? Heather?
I just want to say thank you to the Sanborn Community Basketball. They've worked really hard in the last few years to revamp the program, and they've done a lot for both the boys and girls basketball through middle school and high school. So thank you very much.
This is awesome. Very, very much appreciated.
Oh, did he actually make a motion?
Yes, we have a motion and a second.
Oh, good.
We're in discussion. So now, if there's no further discussion, we will vote. All in favor? Unanimous. Fabulous. All right, Matt, backpacks.
This is from Costco Logistics. And they are donating 384 backpacks to local school in need. And they gave us different guidelines and how it's going to be eligible to the different students. But to reiterate, we're getting 384 backpacks to give the students from Costco.
Awesome.
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Very generous.
Yeah, huge, huge, huge thank you to Costco for that. All right, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right, Christine, we're gonna do 7.2 and 7.6. If no one on the board is opposed to that, we're gonna put them both together so Christine can do both the presentations and
Can you?
then maybe
project?
go home if she wants to. Okay, all right. Do you want to start with the report card or the strategic plan?
We can start with the report card. That's fine.
Okay.
Got his laptop. so that's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
So the Baker report card changes were submitted via the school board doc online, so you can all see that here. I reviewed this report card change for Bakey for the fall of 2023 with the ISA committee already. And today I'm just bringing this to you for your approval. So what we did was we looked at what would be appropriate for kindergarten through second grade students. And what you'll see here is a number coinciding with consistent. So look at number 3, the students would be consistent. And then here we have language for the parent and then also language for the student with I can statements. So to receive a 3, the student would be consistent. And the descriptor here, the student consistently and independently meets expectations with grade level material. The student can independently apply understanding in different contexts. For the student, I can do it by myself. I can show how I understand, and I can make little to no mistakes. And you'll see here that the keywords are really the independently and that they understand without receiving any support from an adult. To receive a 2, which is developing, the student requires support and prompting to be successful in meeting grade level expectations with grade level materials. The student can apply understanding in different contexts with support. And for the student, I am starting to understand. Sometimes I need help. For an example, I need to practice. The last one being beginning, which is a level 1. The student requires significant support and prompting. There is concern for the child's performance. And for the student, I cannot do this by myself. I do not understand yet. I do not get it yet, but I am trying and I need the teacher's help. So right here, would be on the report card. And on page 3, I actually gave you a sample of what that would look like under the grading key scale. And then what that would look like in classes for the first trimester. The second page are really around some behavior and work study practices that the teachers have as a drop-down menu. This is just a sample. This is not all of them. So some of them include, I need to be reminded to express my wants and needs respectfully. Or I'm a positive role model for others. I will continue to practice good citizenship skills like using kindness and manners. Or I stay focused, I'm able to work independently. So those narratives that a parent would receive at Bakey, these would be some of the examples that a staff member would put. The Bakey report card committee worked really hard over the summer and this fall, and I would just like to thank them at this time and the members of that committee. We had 1 per grade level along with Dr. Childs to work on this to reflect what we are working towards as a district. Are there any questions?
I don't know if you said this, but did the ISA committee approve this document?
Yes, the ISA committee approved this back in October. That is correct.
Thank you. So that they recommend it to the board?
Mhm,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. So do we have a motion to adopt?
I make a motion to adopt the Bakey grading system.
Thank you.
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh, we're gonna have a presentation.
I know, but I have to
Mike,
on the,
Second,
mic.
second the motion.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's there now?
As in, what is it replacing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So what was once there was a lot of different descriptors.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't, teachers didn't have a guide as to what they could put in a narrative.
Hmm.
And then it really had a very competency-based kind of language to it. So there were not the I can statements, and it wasn't user-friendly for parents.
Hmm.
So a parent wants to know, does my child need help? Are they independent learners? Or does my child need consistent help and they're really struggling to understand?
Okay.
So what they tried to do was really make it in a way that a parent could understand the report card, because it's really the communication for the parents to understand what the grading, how their child's doing in first grade or second grade or kindergarten, and really looking at how do we support that? The language was very, very edu-speak.
Hmm.
It was very, and it was also like 3 pages. It was very,
Yes,
it was
like
very
4
busy.
pages long. This
Like, so
tightens it
what
up.
we got last year, and what I got last year for Molly's report card, this is like so easy to read. It's really, on point of like how she's doing in her class.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
it
you.
was-
You're welcome.
This is a huge night and day difference.
It's a huge upgrade
The under,
right here.
yeah, the ability for parents to truly understand where their
Yeah.
students are, I think is gonna be huge.
Great.
Because it was very, very confusing before.
Awesome.
Our goals of improving achievement.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Know where your kid is,
Yeah.
then you know you need to help them.
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Well,
yeah,
thank you to Isa and Christine for working
Okay.
that.
yeah, thank you to all the staff that helped with the input on this, because this is huge. This was a big deal.
Great.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor? All right, unanimous. Great. Great. Now I'm gonna move out of the way again. So Christine can do the strategic plan update. I wasn't sure, so I moved out early.
So this update is over the strategic plan with our action steps completed as of today, December 2023. This presentation reflects updates within the milestones and targeted areas made to the strategic plan for this school year. So strategic target 1, objective A, which is to refine and clarify the district's grading practices. This fall, we created manuals for grades 3 to 5 to reflect the 100-point grading scale and reviewed draft before ISA. The school board approved and adopted the memorial report card in October 2023. Changes made in ALMA, which is our student report system, to reflect school board adoption. Information reported to memorial families in regards to a grading manual. The K2 report card committee met various times over the last spring, summer, and then the fall of 2023. The plan was drafted and reviewed and proposed change before the ISA committee. The school board approved and adopted that this evening. Changes made in ALMA to reflect the school board's adoption. Information reported to families, the grading manual, which the Bakey families do already have. High schools also added grading expectations for staff as a tool to support the current grading and reporting manual that was approved last year by the school board. It's really for an accountability tool. And then the addition of these tasks now completes target 1, objective A. So as of this evening, we have completed target 1, objective A completely.
Thank you.
For 2 years.
Thank you for your hard work on completing.
Thank you.
that. That's fantastic.
I'd like to thank all the teachers, because in the building leaders, it's been 2 years. It's been a heavy lift for them, but they've done it well. Okay. So target 1, objective B, adopt and implement a rigorous curriculum K-12 with clearly defined expectations of what students will know and be able to do for each grade level and or course. So this fall, we've provided staff with an understanding by design, which are our units. We're referring to them as UBDs. We've provided checklists, timelines, and rubrics to check their work prior to their submission of the final documentation. We've had PD days allocated to work on these units as they're revising units from stages 1 through 4. We've provided a refresher training for 612 for the creation of the UBD documents. We finalized units will be submitted to building leaders by December 21st. They're already coming in now. Created schedules for ISA to review the UBD curriculum units. We reviewed that at ISA this evening. We've also had data conversations, and we're going to switch gears. So parts of this are data conversations and goals for NEWA, DIBBLES, our curriculum, all those pieces that fit nicely into the core content of the UBD units. We also have tiered intervention groups based on skill levels, and we updated that at K-5 using the newly adopted Amplify reading program. This objective B also talks about NEASC milestones. So in June of 2023, NEASC submitted their findings with a report to the school district. And then in October 2023, ISA reviewed the SRSD improvement plan based on their suggestions from NEASC. And then we submitted the improvement plan to NEASC on October 30th. Objective C, improve measurable learning outcomes for all students in literacy and math. Through this last spring and this fall, we've continued with the math reveal training for 612 teachers. We provided the professional learner communities to focus on data and how to improve their tier 1 instruction and their assessment outcomes. The meeting committee K-5 formed to determine program selection process over the spring, over an 18-month process. The school board approved and adopted the CKLA Amplify reading program for students in K-5. Extensive training for staff and administration in the CKLA throughout the 23-24 school year, including M-Class and Boost Reading. We also implemented DIBBLES as our new district dyslexia screener to meet the state mandates. We've updated the teacher evaluation plan with Invector. The administration team is reviewing academic and behavioral data in order to create action plans for improvement in instruction and classroom management as they go hand in hand. Objective D, provide a comprehensive education that supports deep learning and fulfills the graduate success profile. Team leaders co-created the 2023 master schedules at Bakey Memorial. The high school and middle school provided the co-curricular opportunities and schedules developed to maintain based on the students and staff interest in available budgeted funds. We've had exploration and implementation of the summer enrichment programs for students K-8 based on staff interest, student needs. Extended the learning opportunities, which are our ELOs, created for high school students based on need, interest, areas in the fine and performing arts, as we've added those. We'll move on to strategic target 2. Objective A is to strengthen the teacher induction and mentoring program and align instructional coaching and specialized training. Over the summer, we've revamped the mentoring program. We use the cohort model to reflect changes, turnover of staff, and the lack of veteran and mentors. By cohort model, we are no longer able to assign one mentor per staff member. We have a select number of mentors in the building, and they all help the new teachers within that. So there's not one assigned person. So this fall of 2023, we updated the goals of the mentoring program. We've updated the commitment and responsibilities of a mentor. And one example is here, which is to establish a collegial and supportive relationship with the new teacher. The relationship should be characterized by openness, honesty, trust, and constructive feedback. In August, we trained the mentors in this new model. We've had a new staff training day, and we allocated half the day to be with their mentor to go beyond like the traditional classroom setup. We've provided checklists over information that everything that needs to be covered before new staff starts their first day with students, so everyone K-12 received the same information. Mentors submit a monthly log of meeting times to both document the hours and the general content of the meeting. These logs will help to design effective whole group mentor meetings. Mentee training by level and need, also including logs, documentation of classroom observations monthly. We've also updated the new teacher competencies, and I've added one here, especially around intervention. And their I can statements, I closely monitor my students' progress and attaining proficiency on both academic competencies. When needed, I assign students to and appropriately develop interventions, enrichment, and extensions of learning, etc. We're going to move on to strategic target 3, provide and maintain the appropriate infrastructure for current and future district needs, including technology upgrades. So fall of 2023, they've tightened the approval process for contractual requirements and funding of the online resources and software. The main focus was to ensure any resources works well with the approved curriculum and fits into the approved curriculum. December of 2023, the business administrator is currently reviewing the operating budget in conjunction with the capital improvement plan. Any project identified with available funding will be presented to the facilities committee and the school board before its implementation. And then the technology section here, that they've continued to update laptops at least 50 per year. They've upgraded the lab workstations by the end of this school year. The wireless project has been completed. A new system was implemented for asset inventory. They're in the early stages of upgrading the website and implemented a text messaging software for notifications to families and staff. Strategic target 5, provide a safe and structured learning and work environment. During the fall of 2023, the Joint Loss Management Committee was activated, I should say. They're conducting an in-school inspection and are in process of writing the safety handbook for the Joint Loss Management Committee. The district participated in a tabletop active shooter exercise with the NH Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, along with local first responders and district administrators. That was a full day. Improvements to building security each school and district office have occurred, such as the bollards in front of the entrances, except for the removal bollards, as the parts are currently back ordered. Target 5, objective B, efficiently and effectively utilize personnel and resources across the district. So during the summer and fall, the administration has spent some time assessing staff needs at each building prior to the proposed budget cycle. Each building's updating their master schedule to reflect the needs of the learners and the staffing available. And they've updated the program of studies at the high school to reflect those changes. Next steps. I would suggest that the school board look at the mission and vision statement to see if they want to revise it prior to the NEASC visit next December. I would also seek permission to update the graduate success profile to reflect current practices and expectations. The graduate success profile still refers to competency grading systems. So when I'm looking at updating that, those are the changes that I would suggest, or I'm seeking permission to make those changes and then bring them to the board for final approval, and any other things you'd like to see changed in there as well. I'd like to look at revising target 1, objective E, to be completed during ISA and then bringing it to the board. Again, target E talks about some past grading expectations and some of the SIS systems, that student report system, our ALMA system. When we have a traditional grading scale, it no longer does. So it just needs to reflect that for our NEASC accreditation. And I also want to update and create various targets to reflect the current 306 laws around academic criteria and or mandates. And for example, the civics education law that just passed that we have to start this July for K-8 for the 24-25 school year, which ensures that all students will have a civics instruction, not just in high school. That was a lot.
Thank you. I just
there any
wanted to mention
questions?
before we move on, first, Christine would someone make a motion to authorize Christine to work on updating the graduate success profile to reflect the current practices and expectations in requirement for the NEASC process, and to work with ISA to revise Target 1 Objective E of the strategic plan?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second,
Thank you.
All right, any conversation about that motion?
I do have one thing I just want to mention on, sort of on the record for
Mhm.
everyone
Mhm.
is we talk a lot about competencies here. And I want to make sure everyone listening at home has, the criteria, this sort of understanding, but the difference between a grading scale that is competency based versus a curriculum that aligns to competencies. Those are
Thank you.
different things, right?
They are.
So, the grading scale, A, B, C, D out of 100, that whole thing is one thing. And we're not grading on a competency based system, but you're still going to hear reference to competencies aligned to course outcomes, like a student should be able to do this, should be able to do that. So when we're referring to course outcomes, we still align to competencies, but it's only when we're talking about grading that we are departed from that. Just in case anyone,
Thank you.
that's it. Because it's important that they be able to do stuff. We're gonna-
Correct.
That's the whole deal.
And the state still uses competencies. We're looking at, when we get to the actual understanding by design, those units of instruction, you will see the competencies there. It's those like performance indicators, those goals, those standards that we still need to meet with the school district, correct?
All right. Any further discussion on the motion?
I just want to say thank you. I mean, this is so much work, and this level of accountability and progress for the district is incredible. So thank you to
Thank
the
you.
administration, and thank you, Christine, for the work that you do every day to increase the level around here. Thank you.
I second that. It's a tremendous amount of work and you're spearheading it and with tremendous grace and professionalism, and you're engaging all stakeholders really well.
Thank you. Thank you. both very much.
I concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to make a comment too. Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah.
Because obviously you put in a lot of work and your team has put in a lot of work, but this is one of those things that it's nice. I feel like we've talked about this for a couple of years now. And I think this is what we wanted was we didn't want to just be glazed over of, oh yeah, we've done Target A, whatever. You very clearly outlined what has been done. So thank you for not only what you've done, but for putting this together. And I also would suggest I don't know if you guys have thought, but maybe making this like public, or I don't know if you share it in the email or something, because I think that the community should know everything
I was
that
just
you've
thinking
done.
that.
So I can tell you, so on the district website, currently on the left-hand side, it says strategic plan. If they click on that, you can see last year's presentation, and I will add this year's presentation to that as well. Also, if you click in the strategic plan, as we're accomplishing tasks in the milestone section, we're actually writing them in there.
Mhm.
So as well as the presentation, as things are completed or as work's being done with regardless of the administrator or building level or SAU level, we're actually putting blurbs in there as well.
Mhm.
So as this continues, you can see like from the fall or things will say ongoing, it'll say spring 2023.
Yeah.
So as the work's being started or as things have been approved by various committees or at the board, we've added that as well. Yes, because we want to be fully transparent.
Right.
So because this is really a strategic plan for everyone involved in the district.
And I think we all want everything to have been done yesterday,
Yes.
right? So I think it's important for people to see that, yeah, we didn't get to everything yet, right? Like it's going to take time, but here is what we have done. Maybe we haven't gotten to this part yet, but we have done this. So I just want to make sure people are aware you guys have worked really hard. So thank you.
Right. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
very much.
appreciate it.
Make one more quick
Happy
comment.
holidays to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. I just wanted to mention that the board, I just wanted to remind everyone, we are being very careful to be mindful of the strategic plan and the board goals and the subcommittee goals. So the board goals for the 23-24 school year were as follows. Number one, hold trimesterly reviews tracking the the progress of the strategic plan, including but not limited to implementation of K-5 reading program, the implementation of the K-12 math program, and the NEASC accreditation. So this presentation this evening was one of the 3 presentations you'll receive this year with an update about those items. Number 2 was support the implementation of the new grading systems for grade K through 5. So the board has met that goal for the year. And the 3rd was to maintain the fiscal health and stability of the district by negotiating a professional staff teachers contract. The board has successfully negotiated a contract, and the future of that will be decided at the polls. But we have successfully done that, and we continue to work collaboratively with the town of Fremont. So those were your goals for this year. So this update this evening was to make sure that we're checking in and that we're on track. And we would like to I would like to continue to have a trimesterly update from Christine on the hard work of not just the administrative team. I want to be clear that a lot of work has been done by teachers, and I am incredibly grateful. So when people say, oh, well, the test scores at Sanborn are low, or this or that isn't going great, there's a lot to celebrate here. We are working really, really hard to fix the things that we don't want to have be the way they are. We want to improve our academic achievement, but we also want to maintain the fact that we have really great relationships with kids, and we have one of the most robust ELO programs in the state. We have 100% of our kids have a post-graduation plan. Over 80% of our students meet the criteria for success that the board set forth 6 years ago. We do a lot of really positive things with kids with regard to helping them find who they are as a human being and finding a path forward in life. Not everything is a test score. Having said that, we want to improve our test scores. It's not an either or, it's and. Okay? So it's a holistic approach to dealing with children as human beings, and that we're going to support them in their development. And Christine has been working so hard this fall to do that with the principals and the teachers, and I couldn't be more grateful. So thank you, Christine, for all your hard work.
All right, SST, 4-year agreement.
Thanks. So the laws have changed. So a few years ago, we had gone into an agreement with the SST for a 20-year contract. And what happened is the laws changed and made it so that it gets reviewed every 4 years. So the original proposal was done by the SST. I mentioned to the SST board that I would want Mr. O'Shaughnessy to review it prior to bringing it to you as a board, because I would want to know, if I were you, that Jim had reviewed it and agreed with what the content was. So that blossomed into the whole group signing off and having Jim review it for the whole group, all 8 districts. So the document that you have is the same in every district, and every board in the group is approving the document so that we have an agreement for 4 years. And then we can renegotiate in the next round in a few years if we want to. So essentially, it would be very difficult for us to modify the agreement. We've worked hard with them to create the agreement and move it forward. So I'm asking that the board approve and adopt the agreement this evening as part of the cooperative group agreeing and supporting it as well.
Approve.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to
ask
the SST 4-year agreement.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion?
So it wasn't modified, or it was modified?
It was modified.
Was modified.
And Jim put the track changes in the document.
Yep.
Truthfully, it's a very complex process involving the state, the sending district, and the receiving district, which is Exeter. So we contract with the Seacoast School of Technology in Exeter. And all that this document does is keep the situation the way it is. It's not, our students will be able to go, they'll participate in the programs. There's no substantive change on the student end.
Okay.
The substantive change is more in the language end to make sure that it aligns with the law and the updates that have occurred.
Okay. Yep. You highlighted exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I didn't say that sooner. It was a great question.
And this had nothing to do with the tuition agreement.
No.
No, okay.
No.
I looked and I didn't see it, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I was looking at that too.
There-
Got a lot to do with the days off, right?
There's a lot of complicated moving pieces. So for example, the law recently changed where if the sending districts to a school of technology has a global group of schools sending has more than 10 days different in their calendars, they have to pay a fine. And so we've worked really hard, which is why our calendar isn't quite what we'd like it to be. So a good example for the community to understand is we take the voting days off, even though we don't use the high school for voting, because Exeter does, and it would have created a distortion or a discrepancy that would mess up this law with the SST. It's really complicated. It takes a lot of superintendents. Put a bunch of us in a room and have us talk about calendars, and it can be pretty lengthy conversation. It went really well this year. Yeah, way better this year. We started out closer this year than last year. It went well. Heather was there last week and she can, but it went well. And I think we've got it. I don't always love it because I'd prefer not to take the Tuesday off in November and then have Thanksgiving 2 weeks later and a holiday the week after. There's only 15 school days in November, but
Well, Veterans Day and voting day.
exactly. So this year we had Tuesday and Friday off because we couldn't be different than Exeter because of the law. So it's just important for everyone to know that November and March, those Tuesdays, we didn't always take those off before, but now we have to because it creates an issue for the whole group.
Was that a professional development day or was that just a day off?
It's a professional development day for staff.
Well,
That's
yeah.
The students are off, but the staff are here. Exactly. Yeah. It's just kind of weird to have it on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Did we inform people in the newsletter about the why behind that one? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I know that we informed people when we adopted the calendar.
Yep.
But that may have been here. I don't know if it went out in newsletters. That's a great idea.
I know people have asked.
Yep.
And yeah, it's like, well, we don't have a choice.
Be a good reminder. Yeah.
right. I don't think I realized that. I guess maybe you told me and I forgot, but.
I think I realized because I'm the school board rep for SST, so we talk about it a lot. It's probably one of the biggest conversation pieces. But I do agree, like not all everyone in the public knows the reason why.
Did I answer your question, Rick? It was there's a lot to it, but that's the big one.
Remember you touched on the days aligning within the other districts when we talked about it in public before. That's why I remember.
Thank you.
And the fine was hefty.
Yeah, 25,000.
We're gonna stick to their days.
Yep.
All right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right, Matt, waiver of fee for blimp. Very confused. I was very confused too. 'Cause
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
It's
So,
going, but then it's not.
yeah, well, we created the agenda thinking that we were going to have a blimp in Swayze Gym.
Yep.
Okay. After the agenda was created, they backed out.
Okay.
Okay. So it's here because I want to kind of educate you. We made some really great connections.
This is rather
Um,
deflating, that.
Huh?
Does that make it?
This is rather deflating news.
They
Somebody-
may be donating some science equipment for our physics lab upstairs.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
cool.
All right.
So this is Altreos. They're a Fremont-based corporation. They're the blimp that you see over Fremont. Get
Oh,
one of those blimps
got it.
inside of Swayze Gym because it's warm in there in January, so they can put up decals on the side.
Want to
of-
letter it. Yeah.
Okay. The problem is a beam was in the way.
Too bad we can't take the beam out, right?
Yeah, so we've even
There.
tried to talk to them to see if we can put them in the high school gym, put them in the auditorium. They were gonna try to give us an engineer for a day. And we were gonna try to send students over there by bus and they were gonna talk to our kids. And so I was gonna ask you guys
Oh, wow.
to give them free rent in exchange for an educational program. Okay, so unfortunately they backed out.
Right.
But they're gonna help us out anyways in the future.
That's awesome.
See, he's probably got some jokes going on.
We gotta-
Well, I thought it was funny because Micah made the dad joke and Rebecca didn't even flinch. She didn't even like grin. She's like, yeah,
It wasn't for, it wasn't for.
you
her.
know,
He is
you
full
know.
of-
To be honest, I didn't even hear it.
Oh, did you hear? Oh, really? Well, Heather just said he's full of hot air.
That's very.
I didn't know that moms could do dad jokes.
I know, this is good.
This
Yeah.
is going south fast.
Oh,
It's
I
only
see where-
6:40.
what?
I said it's only 6:40.
There's plenty of pizza left, Mike.
All right.
All right.
So, all right, so then I'm excited about the connections we have made. Sorry it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a start.
It's always the
Connections-
future.
Connections are a big thing. That's
Yeah.
great. All right, so moving on, naming of middle school road.
Yeah, so the old middle school, so last year we had an issue where there was our tenant at the old middle school had called for emergency services and, unfortunately, they were dispatched to the memorial school instead of the old middle school. And if you look at the address is just different. Well, Memorial's 31 West Main Street. The old middle school is 31A West Main Street. So Dan and I were talking about renaming the roadway that leads to the old middle school. Originally, we were talking about Education Way. And what we're going to try to do is make it Education Way, and SLC would be 100 and SCA would be 500. It would make it easy for dispatch to know where to send the emergency vehicle. And Dan has been working on this project. He knows what the process is. He has to go through the select board to make the change. And so for costs, we think that the costs are going to be roughly Dan's time and the cost to sign the street. Jeremiah came up with, well, after Heather talks about her suggestion, Jeremiah spoke about wanting to have a big like street opening.
I think I actually made.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
I want to take credit.
sorry. Just get the, yeah, sorry, Rick.
Jeremiah sort of piggybacked on my great idea. I'll let him have it.
It was a combined fabulous.
Yeah.
Will there be,
Yeah.
can we get a blimp?
We get a, yeah.
Can we get a,
If you
blimp?
want to start calling me Skip, that's fine. It's all right.
I want a blimp and a pair of giant scissors and a ribbon.
Decals.
Yeah.
So
Deep-
I had been talking to Matt about this idea, and I am not a Sanborn alum, but I am married to one. I have friends that are Sanborn alum, and I had suggested that we name it Sockwell Drive after Mr. Sockwell, who taught at the middle school for 31 years as the math teacher. I think Education Way it's nice, but I do think honoring someone who taught in that building would be a nice memory to our community
And a teacher.
and a teacher. That was my recommend. So I would like to make a motion to name it Sockwell Drive after Mr. Sockwell.
Second.
Discussion?
Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fabulous, and I'm gonna get emotional because I think it's a great tribute to a great person. And I think it's a great way to keep his memory alive because he was part of our community from the 70s on. Not only did he teach here, he lived here. He was one of us, and he was our family and we were his family. So it's a great way to just keep that going.
Okay, just, can you not name it Carlton E. Sockwell Drive? or-
I was wondering that, could we do Carlton?
think
E.
you can.
Sockwell?
Mhm.
Yeah, that we could probably do his full name,
Whatever you'd like, yeah.
but
That-
yeah, it's
that-
a good point.
that's
I
ideal.
thought about that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever the board. I was just
Yeah.
like,
The idea,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's,
Yeah,
if you're gonna name it after him, you might as well name it after him.
yeah, that's a,
So,
Do we need to make?
so I will re-amend my motion to.
Oh, sorry.
name
Dan.
Carlton E. Sockwell Drive.
Just a
Oh.
point that sometimes the roads, depending on where they lead to and where they go, might be avenue, drive, circle, way.
Okay,
So let's hold off on what we're saying after his name until we get it final.
I'd like to lock in place right now.
it's funny because I was actually thinking, I was like, Carlton E. Sockwell Way, because Mr. Sockwell taught you how to be prepared, organized. So I was like, the
You got the
Carlton
way.
Sockwell Way would really be amazing, but we'll leave that up to what.
So
the-
I will amend my motion. Thank
Was it
you.
math?
To naming it Carlton E. Sockwell, TBA,
Way.
Yeah, whatever we're allowed to do.
and
You amend your second to.
I amend my second to match what
Okay.
Heather said.
All right,
Mm.
any further discussion? All in favor? Awesome, unanimous.
I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to mention that Mr. Sockwell's brother is one of the nicest people I've ever met, and he's become a part of our family too.
Yeah.
Matt had lunch with him last week, He has been raising money to donate to the school. And he is just the nicest person, really a one. And he told me that when he came and worked with us on his brother's funeral, that he felt like he was a part of the community.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, really, what a great guy.
Super nice guy.
It's dedication ceremony.
Yes,
It is. So
Yeah.
that's-
yes,
That's what we should.
we need to
Yeah,
have a
dedication
dedication.
ceremony.
Dedication ceremony.
I said grand opening first. I said, no, that's.
No,
not-
no, dedication
Um,
tenor, yeah.
Cutting, but it's a
Don?
Yeah.
dedication.
So I know that this has to go through the Newton Selectmen. I'd be happy to go and
Yep.
Thank you.
on
Heather.
behalf of the
Yeah,
board.
I think that
Yeah.
if we can find out when that is,
Yeah,
might be a couple
I
of
was,
us
I
that
was,
will
I was
show up.
given a heads up that they wanted as soon as possible.
Okay,
Yeah, the health and
fabulous.
safety, so.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And can I really quick, Dawn?
Yeah.
So the joint conversation here was that we would obviously for Newton, our SAU folks, but also for the SCA folks, right? Because this is just as much for them for safety of response and things like that. And so what a great collaboration in public, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just to offer a few folks to be a neat event.
Absolutely. All right. We are now up to second public comment.
Bueller?
Okay, old business, Bakey Freezer, Matt.
Okay, I'm still on the street.
Am I
Uh,
moving too fast?
Yes, you are. I apologize.
That's all right.
All right. Dan did a lot of work. So, what we have at the Bakey Elementary School is the walk-in has failed. And, I've been talking with the facilities committee and they did a tour of the building or of the unit. And in some of our investigations, we found out that the unit was installed in the mid 1980s, most likely 1986.
Jeez Louise.
We had 3 different ideas of how to deal with this problem. The first one is try to replace it with 2 standalone units. We found out that it's not possible because we have USDA commodities. These are free foods that come in from the state on a monthly basis. They don't have enough floor space to put in that kind of food into those 2 freezers. We'd have to have it shipped here to the high school. And then every other day, we'd have to move that food over to Bakey using one of our facilities people. Okay. So that option is out. The second one is just replace the HVAC equipment, the refrigeration unit. That was $15,387. We expect that the box itself is at end of life. We could probably squeeze another 10 years out of it. If we took it for another 10 years, if you amortize the cost, it would be $1,539 for each year for 10 years. However, I didn't think that was a good use of public funds, considering the third option, which is just replacing the refrigerator and freezer unit. Currently, we have roughly 37 years of service out of our existing unit. It's going to cost us without electrical $41,582. And if we get 35 years out of the new unit, it would cost $1,188.54 over a 35-year period. So I'm asking the school board to authorize us to put in a new refrigerator freezer unit, and we're going to try to finance it out of year-end appropriations first. But I want authorization from the school board to withdraw the funds from the facility use revolving fund. Now, let me go over each of the bids. The first one is a local company. They're going to would install the box. It's $31,732. There are 2 other companies. One's out in Ohio and the other one's in Texas. We feel that we'd be better served by the company that's down the road.
Mhm.
Okay. Then we have 3 companies
Matt,
that are
Matt, sorry.
What are the other?
There was additional charges of shipping, and then there was also the logistics of having a certified person install those specific freezers, which is that cost.
that's correct.
So that's why we made that decision.
Thank you.
That's
Brett.
correct.
Yep.
Then we also have 3 different refrigeration installers. When we were talking to the facilities committee, Rick, I'll make sure it's Rick this time, because he brought it up, not Jeremiah.
It's Rick.
Thank you.
Rick noticed that in the GKS quote that there's two trailer rentals. If we do this over the summer, we don't have to rent the trailers. Okay, so it may be that GKS is going to be less expensive than Laconia Refrigeration. We're going to go ahead and try to update that, but I'm still going to ask you guys to allow us to move forward with this process.
And the freezers won't be in, Dan, until May anyway, correct?
Yeah. And then April.
So we're close to the end of the school year anyway.
Okay.
What are we doing for the time period if they're failed?
Supporting food.
Yeah, he'll
We-
cover that.
We have two standalone units that are running. We rented one, and we
Okay,
had one on hand.
okay,
So we're getting by.
okay.
Limping.
Limping by.
Some food too. Yep.
Okay.
The only thing I want to throw out there is in 1986, I might expect something to last for 30, 35 years. I don't know if I have that expectation today.
I looked it up online, the
Yeah.
expectancy for a commercial walk-in freezer, and you can correct it, but what I found online was 15 years. It's like an average for a box.
That's more of what it feels like today.
That's not right.
I want to abstain from the conversation.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's how I looked.
That's that's my gut. It's entirely anecdotal. It's not,
No,
Based on data
they
at
don't
all.
make things like they used to. I agree.
Yeah,
it's the
Okay,
feeling,
yeah.
but I don't know.
Last 35 years.
yeah, I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't think that, I didn't think that.
So you know what I mean? Matt, you see what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. for everybody.
Micah, do you support purchasing the fridge, or are you just pointing that out so that people know that for transparency?
I don't know.
You
We've
don't know that?
certainly
I wanna
got our
have a-
use out of
I-
this freezer box. And I think one other thing that we didn't mention that I forgot, correct me if I'm wrong, but the other unit, the other HVAC head in the other side of the box is already on a rebuilt unit as well, correct? Yeah, so that's another issue and why we shouldn't just replace the other head. It's time, there's severe rot, which you're gonna get to. So
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
let Matt finish.
Yeah.
I just.
All right. In this report, I did provide pictures of
It's very disturbing.
yeah, the existing unit. You can see like the seals are coming away from the door. There's condensation in the walls, and you can see it in the thermometer on the side of the unit. On the front of the unit, the bottom of the front of the unit is rotting out. And then if you go inside, they put diamond plate over the floor because there's holes in the floor.
So is the facilities committee recommending replacement?
Yes, the facilities committee recommended replacing the units.
Thank you. That's important because you
important.
don't.
They actually viewed it, so
yeah,
I commend them on that.
Or visit there.
yeah, why don't you take that?
You want me to take that one?
Please do.
Okay. So
It's like
the
Tweedledee
facilities
Tweedledum.
committee actually went and viewed this, and both Matt and Dan gave us a thorough look because we want to be good stewards of the resources of our community. And so if there's a lower cost solution that's viable for the folks that are using it, we want to do that. And what we clearly saw when we went there, and the pictures are just a little bit of a snippet, is that this is past end of life. And we're past limping it along, and any more money that we throw into this is wasted.
Mhm.
And so thank you for that. But it was very clear to us that this is no longer a retrofit, fixed job. This is a full replace. Let's do it right.
Okay, great, thank you.
I make a motion to follow the facilities recommendation to replace the freezer at Bakey.
And
Second.
can I make an amendment? Just
Yes, please.
I think we're authorizing funds to be spent up to 49,000 because that will include the additional cost of electricity hookup.
Yeah, to be funded with year-end surplus or the facility use revolving fund.
Dan.
Dan?
Just be clear, it's the refrigerator and the
Okay, so I will amend my
Okay.
motion.
Want to write that down, or there was a lot there?
I will make a motion to approve to replace the freezer and the refrigerator at Bakey School based on the recommendation from the Facilities Club to authorize Matt Angel to spend up to $49,000 out of the facilities revolving fund or end of year funds.
Except they're not a club,
So
they're a
close.
committee. That's awesome, Heather. You're on fire.
99%.
Woo! That might have been the best motion ever.
Did I say club?
You said club. Club, it was awesome.
Well, it kind
You
of
said
is
it
like.
with such a
club.
straight
I mean,
face.
That's
We all
why I
held it.
started laughing.
Yeah, Rick was good. He was like,
Having so much fun.
I know.
I think we should rename that.
They're all clubs now.
The ISA
It's
Club.
now.
My name-
All right, do I have to say that
I
again?
don't know.
No, no, we're good. We got it.
Yeah.
Did someone second?
Who,
Yeah.
Rick seconded.
Aya.
All right,
Hold
any
up,
further
Rick. Work.
discussion?
Right.
All in favor?
Mhm.
All right, so
Great.
we have
Sure.
Heather, Ken, Rick, Micah, Jeremiah, and myself, and then an abstention. Okay,
Thank you very much.
And Dan, thanks for your.
yes, thank you.
Yeah,
hard
thank
work.
you,
Yeah.
Dan.
Appreciate it.
Dan, thank you for your hard work.
Can I ask just a quick question about freezers? Because we have just a minute. When will we discuss the memorial freezer, which is the same age?
I guess when it needs repair.
Breaks.
As of right now, we discussed in the facilities committee, it's operable.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
I just, for the public, because I know that they're both the same age.
Does it look? the
Does
way
it
that
look like the
ba-
one at Bakey?
I don't know. I'd have to go. see.
Dan's?
It's in work.
Oh, awesome.
So I think what we had agreed upon that the facilities club would actually go, we would view this.
After the holiday?
The
Yeah,
finance
after the
club.
Yeah,
invite-
we have to go there.
refrigerator, the freezer. Yeah,
I literally just almost spit on my.
Yeah,
pen.
I saw that.
we've got some other things at Memorial that we're working on too.
we do.
but
Yeah, we want to see it just like we did this one.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that, right?
Yes, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, here we go.
next.
And
At the next club meeting.
discussed was getting a very firm list from Dan
Yep.
of all the things that we've been talking about that are in need of repair that has no budget line items.
Yep.
So we can sort of make, besides the capital plan, a sort of a sense of, urgency on what needs to get fixed.
Yep.
So I think once we get that list, maybe at the next meeting, I think Dan committed to.
Yep.
We'll have some more.
And the new revenue from the Seacoast Classical Academy will help us to meet those goals.
Yep.
So I'm really happy about that, to have rent coming in from both sides of the middle school.
Yeah.
That could help us support like the roof at Memorial
And-
or other items.
And we'll be gaining from their investments into that building.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep, it's very positive. Thank you.
So the fact that SCA is bringing in income for the district is fantastic.
And improving the building.
And improving the building.
Also fantastic.
Thank you.
Sounds like the club approves.
And the parking lot.
I'm getting us t-shirts.
I knew he was. I could
I
feel it in the air.
Facilities club.
I'm getting
I think
That
Rick
was
knows
Rick.
a guy
them.
too.
Oh, come on.
All right,
think
next
finance
meeting
jealous.
of the Sanborn Regional School Board will be held on Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024 at 6 PM in the Sanborn Regional High School Library. The next Budget Committee meeting will be held on Thursday, January 4th, 2024 at 7 PM in the Sanborn Regional High School Library. Would someone like to bring us into non-public?
I make a motion to move us into non-public RSA 91-A semicolon 3, Roman numeral 2, CK.
Second.
All right, roll call in. Heather,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Jeremiah?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Micah?
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right, let's take a quick